welcome to my video about Daniel chapter 7. Just to recap, please watch my video about Daniel chapter 2 and Nebuchadnezzar's dream before you watch this one. And it's always a good idea to also read the chapter before you watch the video so that you're already familiar with what's happening in this chapter. So I encourage you to go back and read Daniel chapter 7 if you haven't before watching this video. So in this video, Daniel has a dream of his own, and these dreams disturb him a great deal, and I hope explaining what I think they mean helps you understand why they're so disturbing to him. So first of all, in his dream he sees four beasts, and the first one is, and sorry, I'm going to go back for a second. The beasts are representative of kingdoms, and it talks about how these kingdoms are diverse from one another, and I believe that word diverse is pretty important. It kind of helped me see things in a different light. I believe that they are diverse I think that has a deeper meaning than we realize. It doesn't just mean this kingdom is different from this kingdom. I believe it means this kingdom is a different kind of kingdom than this kingdom, if that makes sense. It will probably make more sense as I explain. So the first beast he sees, and I'm going to read the actual words a little bit. I don't want to do that too much, but he sees a beast like a lion and had eagle's wings, and that's verse 4 of chapter 7. I believe this is talking about the ruling of a monarchy and really any form of government that is not free. We could say that it's specifically talking about England if we wanted to because of the lion. And I think there is some meaning in that. But I believe it's kind of this period of time where there was so much dominion and monarchy, there was very little freedom, or republic type government. And things changed with the beginning of America. And I believe these eagle's wings are talking about the Revolutionary War and the formation of America. It says, I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And I believe that's representative of basically freedom. So no longer are we beasts and we're trying to colonize everything and rule the world like animals, but we're going to allow people to be human and to be free. And that's what I believe that beast represents. The second beast, and I'm going to read again, this is in verse 5, is like to a bear. Oh, before I start reading it. So I want to talk a little bit about how I came to understand what I thought this meant. So as I was reading these chapters, I did a lot of word link study, which is where you look up a word in a chapter or a book, and then you find that same word somewhere else, and you kind of compare, and you can gain a lot of meaning and extra meaning from doing those exercises. And I did a lot of that, but I also literally just studied these animals a little bit, and what helped me understand what this bear represents, or what I think it represents, is learning a little bit about bears. Bears are not like lions. They are not super hunting predators like lions are. Bears are actually more friendly than lions are, and they eat fish, but they don't eat a lot of other kinds of meat. They usually eat other things. Well, they eat insects, but they'll eat a lot of other things, but they don't really go hunt other mammals like lions do. So that kind of helped me see this diversity of this kingdom. It's not like another kingdom like England, like the lion is, I believe, in part. But a lot of people believe this bear is just representative of another kingdom, and I no longer believe that. And that's kind of how I came to this understanding and this interpretation, was through studying the actual animals that are representative of things in Daniel's dreams. It's cool that the guy who tamed the lions has all these animal dreams. I think he was kind of an animal guy. So here's what it says in Daniel chapter 7 verse 5. he sees a beast like to a bear and is raised up itself on one side. And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it. So the ribs now are talking to the bear. Arise and devour much flesh. And this also helped me change my meaning of it, because what kingdom that's being dominated or that has been taken over by another kingdom says, hey, why don't you go take over more kingdoms? Like, none of them. They're upset about it, right? And so this helped me see this is different. This is not a conquering kingdom. This is a different entity. And I came to believe, and I still believe, that this is actually talking about the UN beginning with the formation of the League of Nations. And it's interesting that the bear has 3 ribs in his mouth, because the League of Nations was originated with 3 countries. And by the time it got to the UN, there were more countries, but the League of Nations happened before the UN, and it there were 3 nations that were starting it, just like there were 3 ribs in the bear's mouth. And you know, I just think that's so interesting, because literally these nations were like, hey, let's go get more nations to join us. Just like the ribs in this verse are like, hey, go devour more flesh, go get more things. And so I believe Daniel's seeing this vision of the bear and the ribs that is symbolic of the formation of the UN and the dominance that they have in the world. And I believe because of this verse, I'm inclined to believe that the UN isn't necessarily a 100% good thing, although I'm sure some people would really have a fit hearing that. But that's what I'm inclined to believe. Okay, so moving on to the 3rd beast. Again, like the bear, I really thought about and studied this animal, the leopard, which you don't have to study much. We know about leopards, right? They're super fast, they're super sneaky, they devour flesh, they're more like lions, and they camouflage. And I think that's the big thing. They're camouflage animals. They're sneaky, they're hidden, they like to stay hidden and just pounce on their prey. And I'll go ahead and read that. So this is verse 6. It says, "Third beast is like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it." So the wings of the fowl and 4 heads, gosh, we could probably spend a long time talking about what that possibly means, but I'll reference you back to when we were talking about the wings, kind of representing the formation of America, and then, you know, the lion has a head, the other animals have a head, and that kind of represents more dominating kingdoms. And so to me, I guess that just means that, like, both the free country and the dominating country are all part of this kingdom. And to me, this represents the kingdom of Satan, and the power that he now has on the earth because of corruption, because of the rulers of nations kind of belonging to the Satanists. And that's something I am not talking about in this video, but there is so much evidence out there for that. You just got to go do your research. So that's what I believe this is talking about. The 3rd beast, the leopard, is the kingdom of Satan here on the earth, or you could say the church of Satan as well. So we're going to move on to the 4th beast. The 4th beast, this is Daniel 7, verses 7 through 8. The 4th beast is dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And the residue he's talking about, he basically destroys all these other kingdoms that came before it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. Again, I think that word diverse means more than we think it means. And it had 10 horns. It also mentions a little horn and 3 of the first horns being plucked up by the roots by this little horn, which is a reference to Ezra's eagle. I'm not going to do a separate video about Ezra's eagle, but I'll talk more about that in one of my other videos. So, but just as a little note, Ezra's eagle is a prophecy in the Apocrypha, in the book of 2nd Esdras, I believe, in the Apocrypha, and it it says in there that that vision is supposed to go along with Daniel's visions. And I think that's amazing because there's all these word links like the feathers and the plucked and the eagle. So super important here. This fourth beast is, it's talking about the Antichrist. It's talking about the end world leader who dominates everything. So again, diverse from all those other kingdoms and happenings in the history of the world. And it's so interesting that Daniel saw these things and this great symbolic representation with these animals. And of course, how disturbing that must have been for him to see all these things happening, especially the deception. Like, so many people think the UN is a good thing, and I believe people with good hearts believe that, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying the UN is bad and that makes me an evil person. Like, I think I have a good heart, and I'm just trying to see things for what they really are, if that makes sense. So you know, he's seeing everything for what they really are, and there's a lot of deception in that. People we think are, maybe our governments are okay and not corrupt. A lot of people believe that and don't really know that, but that's not actually true and not actually our reality, and we just have to delve into that and face it, I think, because it's unhelpful, in my opinion, to believe that everything's okay when it's not. So that's what I believe Daniel chapter 7 means. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to talk about Daniel chapter 8 in my next video, which is my favorite. So thank you so much for watching again, and like and subscribe if you want to, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.